Listen, I know I look crazy right now. I'm at the beach. But yeah, I am not home. In case it wasn't obvious in my other vlogs, I do not live by a beach. And I'm kind of on vacation by myself. I am alone here. That's not entirely true. I did not travel here by myself. I'm not staying here by myself. And I kind of thought this would be fun, but I'm actually feeling more anxious than anything. Being, somewhere very new by myself is not like a fun time. I thought I was going to be a beach babe for a week. No, today's Monday. We're going to be here for a week. I wanted to do like a week of what I read on vacation. I thought that would be fun. I've never been a beach girly. I'm always like, oh, maybe this summer I'll be a beach girly. But then that summer comes and goes, and I go to the beach maybe once, and I don't really like it. I'm sorry to anybody who's like obsessed with the beach. It sucks a little bit. Look, I appreciate it and I get it, and it is beautiful. But in terms of wanting to come to the beach and be here, live here all day, every day, no. Also, I am wearing a sweater. It is 60 degrees and extremely cloudy, so it's kind of cold. Someone's coming. Okay. Hello and welcome to my channel. So, don't mind me, just getting ready. I don't really know how this video was going to look. Give me a second, let me put on freaking eyebrows. So I don't know exactly how this vlog is going to look because I was thinking it would have been fun. I was thinking it'd be fun to do, oh my gosh. I was thinking it would be fun to do a what I read on vacation or what I read on vacation, and it hasn't been going well so far. And I'm not talking about the vacation, well, it's kind of, I filmed a little bit on the beach. I don't even know if that audio is going to be any good. I am on the West Coast for the first time, and we have stuff planned for the end of the week. So on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're gonna be doing like vacation-y things. But for this whole week, we're staying really close to the coast. So I've been able to just like walk to the beach and stuff, which is good and all, but I don't know what happened necessarily because I just hit a wall yesterday. This is supposed to be a reading vlog. I've read a chapter of a book I've already read. So it hasn't been very successful in terms of being a reading vlog. Yesterday, I didn't even get out of bed, and that's not good. I just haven't been, I think it's just being in a new location, kind of alone. Like I'm not alone. I mean, I'm alone right now. I'm alone most of the day because my husband's at work. But being in a new location alone has kind of sent me spiraling. Who would have thought that would happen? It's actually not that shocking. But, so yesterday was pretty bad in terms of mental health. And there's a lot of factors that play into it. We don't need to get into all that. It doesn't really matter. What matters for this is a reading vlog. And that's why you clicked on this video, I'm assuming, because I'm sure the title is something about reading. But today I'm feeling a lot better. I actually have a plan, and hopefully I'm going to be doing some reading instead of just rotting in my bed. Hopefully, I mean, the plan is to do some reading today. I'm probably gonna do some reading right now, actually, because I have some time. I have the car today, so I really wanted to go to this aquarium that we're staying by. Me wanting to go to this aquarium isn't even really about me wanting to go to an aquarium. It's more about me wanting to be able to do something by myself, because driving around in a location I'm unfamiliar with is stressful, and then just like being in public by myself is stressful. I went to the beach a couple of times, and being in a social, not even a social setting, just a public setting where there are other people, and I don't have to talk to them. I'm not talking to them. They're all strangers, right? So it's not really social. It's just more of a public setting. I'm like not able to have a good time because I'm just super in my head about stupid stuff. So it's not even really about wanting to go to an aquarium. It's about me getting out, me driving to this place I've never been to by myself and spending a couple hours in a fun place by myself and wanting to have a good time. And even if I don't have a good time, I feel like it's something I need to do. I feel like it's important for me to be able to do that. And some of you listening might be like, what are you talking about? I go places by myself all the time. Well, that's good for you, because I have social anxiety. That's okay, because we're in a better mental space than we were yesterday, so we're going to take advantage of that. I bought a freaking ticket already, so we're going to this aquarium at noon, and yeah. But yeah, anyway, speaking of books, which is what we're here for, I haven't really read anything, but let me go get them. Okay, so what you might have already seen me, depending on how I edit this, what you might have already seen me dive into is The Three Musketeers. And if you're new here, I love this book. There's pretty much not a reading video that goes by without me talking about this stinking book, but I love this book. And I brought it because I usually reread it every year. I usually read it around springtime. So I brought it kind of as a comfort thing. I read a little bit on the beach the other day, all up in my head about being out in public by myself. So I thought I would bring something that was a comfort. It's my safety blanket. But I only read a chapter. That's all I've read this trip so far, and it's Thursday. That's how this trip is going, right? And you would think, oh, well, maybe you're on vacation, so you've been really busy and not had time to read. No, I've been depressed, but we're feeling good today. What I think I'm going to start today is something that's been on my TBR for several months now, and that is, I didn't bring the sleeve, but it is Unbury Carol. All I know about this book is that this woman can die, but then like come back to life. Only her husband knows, I think, and her husband is not a good guy. He just wants her to die, and he wants to like take her money or something. He has evil intentions, and that's all I know. So I think I'm gonna start this. We're gonna go to an aquarium today, just me and you, depending on if I film anything. But we're gonna have a good day today because it hasn't been a good time. But it is, we're gonna make the most of it, and we're gonna go to this aquarium, and we're gonna read, and we're gonna have a good time. Well, I did it. Hang on, I went to the aquarium by myself. I took one clip of me walking in to the entrance just for proof, just for video proof that I did it. I didn't really feel like I needed to film a lot in there. It was actually a really small aquarium, so it didn't take me too long to like walk through it all. But it's not about the aquarium. It was about me leaving this freaking hotel room and doing something. That's what it was about. And we did that successfully. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I'm thinking I want to read more of my book, definitely. But I think I want to go down to the beach and read on or by the beach. Spend some time cloud bathing because it's cloudy and cold. But yeah, before I went to the aquarium, I read about 40 pages of Unbury Carol. I was unaware of the time period this was taking place in. Carol is the lady of the house, and they take a horse and buggy places. I was not expecting that time period, but okay. Carol dies occasionally. She goes into these comas where, if people didn't know, they would just bury her because they can't tell a pulse. They would just think she's dead. But her husband knows, and one of her best friends know. And the best friend just died. They just say he died of the illness with a capital I. I don't know what the illness is, but he died. And she was so distraught about it. She's so upset about it. And she's like, oh, I should tell somebody else now because I don't want just my husband knowing. Because turns out her husband's like an asshole. Like they don't really get along at all. And I don't know why they're married. But so she tells her husband, okay, when the next time this happens to me, I want you to tell our maid. She'll be a good person to know. And then she's about to tell the maid, but then she dies. She falls into the coma. When she's in the coma, she can't see anything and she can't move, but she can still hear. So she falls into the coma and she's like, okay, my husband should come tell this chick and, it'll be okay. But she hears her husband tell the maid, she died. She's dead. And so her husband is planning on burying her and stealing her money, basically. He married her just because of her estate. And now that she's dead, he's going to claim it. But it turns out there is another person that knows, and it's a lover from before she was married, this outlaw. I'm unsure of what his deal is yet, but he's literally an outlaw for some reason, and he knows. So that's where I am in Unbury Carol. But imagine you marry your wife for her money and you want her dead because you just want her money, and you don't even have to murder her. She just dies every couple of weeks or something, and you just choose the appropriate time to take advantage of it. Okay. And she can hear him. She can hear him telling people she's dead. And if and when she gets buried, she's gonna be alive and aware of her being buried alive. Horrifying. The next day. Yesterday, I felt so much better than the previous day. Today, I got up, I went for a long run on the beach, and I just took a hot shower, and now I'm going to chill in our hotel room until Mike gets back, and then we're going to a baseball game tonight. But until then, I think I'm going to just read my book. I am about 100 pages into Unbury Carol. And honestly, I'm really surprised with the setting. It is not what I was expecting at all. I've read a couple Josh Malerman. I'm pretty sure they've all been set in modern times, so it being set in a time where they're riding horses and stuff caught me off guard. So basically, Carol is in her coma and her husband is trying to get her buried alive to take her money. And the maid sent a telegram to her long-lost lover, and he knows she's not actually dead, so he's trying to come save her, I guess. But the husband who's trying to bury her alive got word that the ex-lover is coming, and so he hired a hitman, his name is Smoke, to go kill him. So it's very dramatic, and I was kind of expecting a more modern setting. In the olden days setting is not throwing me off. I read plenty of classics and books that are set, not in modern times, but I just was not this is not what I was picturing for this book at all. So I'm interested into where it's going, and probably just going to be reading and chilling here until we head off to a baseball game. So, yes. It's weird with you standing here. Maybe you should film me. So I'm halfway through Unbury Carol, and I was expecting it to be like a scary book, like I thought it was horror. And when you look up the genre, it does say horror. There's a bug on you. But halfway through it, it's not scary at all yet. I'm hoping it will get kind of scary close to the end, but right now it's not scary at all. Basically, Carol is still in her coma, and her husband is super prima donna. He's tired of living in Carol's shadow. He's never paid for anything in his life. He just wants her for her money, and he pretty much hates her guts. And now that she's dead, and he's telling everyone she's dead, he's super paranoid. He thinks everyone knows, and he hired a hitman whose name is Smoke to kill this ex-lover of hers who's coming to save her. And the hitman doesn't have legs. But it's really strange. I was expecting like suspense thriller, and it's really not. Her ex, he's apparently magic. These outlaws on the trail, they're magic. And I haven't seen any magic. I don't know if it's like real magic or if it's just tricks that they're playing. But yeah, so far it's just been a lot of the ex-lover on the trail to go save Carol, and he's dealing with all the grief because he left her because of her condition, so he's feeling all sorts of emotions. And then the hitman who's coming after him, who's supposed to be super tough and mean, and then the husband who's just paranoid that somebody's going to find out that Carol's not actually dead. And then Carol, she's in her coma. Every once in a while we get a chapter from her perspective, and she's just like, oh no, my husband's gonna kill me. And so it's good, it's entertaining, but it's not as exciting or as scary as I thought it was gonna be. But I'm only halfway through it. I hope the wind isn't too loud. And I'm in Joshua Tree National Park on the last day of our vacation. So I'll probably get to do some reading on the way back from here because it's quite a bit of a drive out of the park on our way back to our hotel. But yeah, that's my update for now. Okay, there we go. We're good. Pink. Well, I'm back home. I finished Unbury Carol on the plane ride home, and I gave it some thought, and I would have to say I give this book 3 out of 5 stars because it was entertaining and I didn't struggle to get through it. But I don't plan on coming back to this book. It didn't rock my world or anything. I will say I was reading what some other people had to say, and I was reading some interviews with Josh Malerman, and I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, but this is kind of a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, a scary version of Sleeping Beauty. However, I would say my main complaint with this book is that it was, in a weird way, uneventful. The whole timeline of this book takes place over a couple of days, which is fine. Carol's not really a character. Occasionally we get chapters from her just in her coma state, just like, crap, I think my husband's trying to bury me alive. Can I try and move my body in this state? I've never been able to move before, but maybe I can move now. The majority of the book is about her lover from years and years and years ago coming back to save her. And it's a story about Carol in this coma and basically her cheating death, right? There's another character that's basically death personified. They call him Rot, and he talks to Carol in her coma state and is mad at her that she keeps dying but not rotting and coming back to life. And that same character, Rot, also shows himself to Moxie, the guy who's coming to save her. and he's trying to tell him like she's dead. There's no point in trying to save her. And it's a big deal. The boyfriend is a big deal because many, many years ago when they were falling in love, the reason he left her was because of her condition. Because she died, he just couldn't handle the fact that she was dying and then coming back to life. It scared him, so he left her. And his whole life has been just feeling guilty about leaving her. So it's really just a whole book about him dealing with his guilt and kind of redeeming himself. He does come back for her to save her. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the ending doesn't give a lot of closure. There's a lot of open-ended things for me, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think the ending being sort of ambiguous was a bit annoying because for me, the book was kind of uneventful. There were some like action moments and there was this undertone of magic going on that was also left unanswered, whether or not the boyfriend was using magic, because there were certain things that happened and people were like, oh, he's magic, but he was saying, no, it's not magic, but then we never really get an answer on whether or not he's magic. And for the book to be kind of uneventful and then have so many things left unanswered or explained, it was just kind of like, I don't know, that's what made it not super riveting. And I also think this book's genre is like horror, suspense, thriller, and I feel like that's not the genre of this book. I think I would have been happier if it was more suspenseful or if something scary did happen, but nothing really scary happened. Yeah, there was a bit of suspense, but most books you don't know the ending, so there is some form of suspense because you don't know how the book's going to end. But I feel like this is more just like a novel. I feel like horror, suspense, thriller, you go in with a mindset prepared for something scary, something suspenseful. And I feel like I was kind of waiting for that moment, waiting for it to be like some sort of twist, some sort of scene that was like, whoa, this is crazy, but it just never happened. With all of those critiques, it was still an entertaining book. I absolutely did not hate it at all. I would say overall, 3 stars. It was a nice, easy read while I was away. I know I didn't read very much in this vlog, but again, it was only 1 week of my life. I don't know how people are capable of reading more than 1 book a week. So sorry I didn't read a whole pile of books on my vacation, but it was only a week in my life, so I read 1. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you later. Bye!